Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special All Out review episode of the BCP. Let's be real. Last night, All Elite Wrestling indeed went all out with a bunch of surprises, a bunch of great matches. So we're going all out tonight with our all-star, all-elite, stellar panel. Please welcome back to the show. You know him as hashtag lay editor-in-chief of the popbreak.com, hashtag dad instincts, a BCP OG original member, my friend, Mr. Bill Bodkin. Bill, welcome in, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. I am. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night after being at the BCP compound watching the show last night because I
Nice.
was literally up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching media scrums and just watching debuts 5, 6, 7 times. It was an incredible night of wrestling.
Yeah, I love the media scrums, and I love how Tony is just sitting next to them at all of them, just like, look what I did. And that's also, did you see the meme, like, find yourself someone, the way Tony Khan looks at wrestlers or something like that? I was dying, man. It's great. But thank you, Bill, for making a few minutes, especially so late at night. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you thought of the pay-per-view in the chat. And guys, please welcome back from the Closet Champion podcast. You know him as the Mr. Perfect of the BCP with a stellar record so far in our predictions panel. Our good friend, Mr. Mike Mueller. What's up, man? How are you?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me back. I'm glad I wasn't on the prediction episode of this one.
Really?
My record would have taken a small hit, but not too bad.
You know
but
exactly would have reminded you every second of the day that you didn't get stuff right.
Well, here's the beautiful part. Kimmy and I, she messaged me and she goes, "What are your picks?" So I sent her my
Fight
pick.
forever.
And she goes, "Oh my God, we have every pick the same except for the women's battle royal." She took Tay Conti, which I held my tongue.
It's a solid pick. It was a solid pick.
She's got other stuff to do first before she gets the title match. But yeah, we were very similar yesterday. So
very interesting. Yeah, she's not here tonight because she was at a wedding. She texted me. She's like, "Yeah, I cried at the wedding." I was like, "Oh, really?" She goes, "Yeah, because I missed All Out." So I thought that was pretty funny. And guys, please welcome to the show, making his long-awaited debut. You know him from belltobells.com. You know him from the Mr. Warren Hayes show. Please welcome in the long-awaited debut of Mr. Warren Hayes himself. We're not worthy.
No, cut that shit out. No. But
I've been telling him to do it for years. He doesn't.
But this is a shoot. This is a shoot. We have been trying to do this for the better part of, I feel like, 18 months. Like, for real, like our schedules have just been impossible. And you guys stream mostly on Thursdays. I stream on Thursdays. And sometimes, like, Rob will text me and be like, "Hey, can you come on the show?" They're like, "Dude, no, you know this by now. You write me every quarter asking me." But I honestly, I'm super glad to be here because it has been a long time.
I don't give up, man. I saw some stellar debuts last night, and I'm like, how are we going to top this on the BCP? You got to bring in Mr. Warren Hayes, baby, man. But thank you for making the time, man. It's an honor. And guys, no, dude, please. It's meant to be. But we'll see how you do here, man. Obviously, you have a stellar show on YouTube. But guys, let's get right into this right now. Let's talk about All Out last night. Now, Bill and I, we watched this together at the, I guess, the BCB compound, as you referred to it. That's never going away. Dude, there were times when we were on our feet. There were times where our jaws were literally dropped. There were times where we popped. There were times where
there was a time where I told someone to shut up because I didn't know what music was going to play.
Yeah.
When it was going to be Adam Cole, Mike Camp was screaming. I'm like, "Shut up. We don't know who's coming out. Yeah. Please let me hear this."
And my goddaughter is sleeping next door. But yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Fine. Oh yeah. No, it was great. But let's start with Tim Mueller first, man. What was your experience watching this one and your overall thoughts on what arguably may be the best pay-per-view of 2021 thus far?
I think it's definitely the best pay-per-view of 2021. I think it's the best pay-per-view AEW has done to date, even better than their first one before they were AEW. I just absolutely loved it top to bottom. I was really impressed. Nothing disappointed me. the matches, like even like the Big Show match and things like that, they were exactly what they should have been to me. And that is my favorite thing about AEW is consistent, logical storytelling, and both in ring and in an overall picture. It just, everything made sense. Like I said, I didn't predict every match. It wasn't like it was super easy to call. I was blown away by not one, not two, but three big surprise debuts. They went all out, and that's a little cliche, but I was super impressed top to bottom. I was never bored. Even in the pre-show match, there was nothing where I never took my eyes off of the television screen. And that's not something that I can say during most wrestling pay-per-views. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised with every aspect.
Yeah, very, very well said. Warren, what was your experience watching it, man? I know you were doing a little bit of travel and all of that, but from what you got to sit down and watch, your experience watching it, what did you think of this thing, man?
Yeah, I was finally able to catch up today. I was swarmed by flight delays yesterday. I was able to make it on. Yeah, I was able to make it on time for the last final three matches, which was dope though. But listen, I you know what Mike said is exactly my own feelings. There was something just awesome about the show last night. It was just about the energy. It was about the matches, the debuts, everything came together. But this was a moment in wrestling history, in time where we're going to look back in 10 years. We're going to see where the business is at. And this is going to be one of these immovable moments in history, like they always talk about, you know, on sci-fi shows, you know, oh, you can't move this time in history. You can't change this because
literally the last episode of What If.
Exactly. Yeah. This is where everything is going to move on, because this is a shift. This is a big deal. And it was a fantastic show from top to bottom. There was nothing bad about the show. We can nitpick. There's stuff where you can be like, but everything served its role. Everything worked. Everything connected. And you know what? It's fun to watch wrestling when it makes you feel good, right? Yeah. When you're just sitting there and you're just like, yeah, this is awesome. This is great. And you're popping and you're jumping out of your seats. I'm pretty sure we all jumped out of our seats at a couple of the same moments for sure. But that's what's great about it. And not having to be like, what are they trying to do? Not overcomplicating things. This was a simple wrestling pay-per-view that was designed to make the fans happy. It was just as simple as that.
I felt like a kid. Yeah. And it was in the best way.
Very well said.
Absolutely.
Very well said, gentlemen. I couldn't agree more. Bill and I literally, I put the picture on Facebook this morning of, I think it was me, Bill, and Mike all standing up at the same time at one point, just like staring at the TV. You know, there's a couple guys like with their hands like this, doing the Britt Baker.
I just do this all the time.
But just being in that room and just watching some of the moments in the storytelling, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I really got excited about wrestling again. I've been very excited about tag team wrestling lately, which has never really been my thing outside of the Hardys. So it's been really, really fun. And I just think, you know, obviously being with the boys and watching that, we have a full capacity crowd. The pops from the crowd, the little bits of storytelling, the spots, the debuts. We'll talk about all that in a little bit. I mean, it's my 2021 pay-per-view of the year thus far, and with a possible match of the year candidate as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Bill, I was with you, man, but what did you think of the first class experience here at the BCP compound?
I mean, it was a good layout. I do enjoy a good slice of Elio's pizza. I'm not gonna lie.
I was gonna ask how the food was.
It was top flight all the way, baby.
It was bachelor pad, mac and cheese, Elio's pizza.
It really was.
And Andy Smart brought some ribs though, so we were good.
So for me, going into this show, I was like, okay, this is I want to see CM Punk and Darby. I want to see this cage match. Not Christian Cage, the tag team match in Cage. And that was it. And then they tacked on Eddie and Miro. And I was like, oh, cool. This is like a 3-match show for me. I wasn't like in love with what they were doing. And then by the end of it, I'm just like, they blew my expectations out of the water, because I was like, this is just, everything was simple to the point. It's just like, let's build stuff. Let's let people tear it up in the ring. And I think what crystallizes the night, and it wasn't the debuts, it wasn't the great matches. What crystallizes how AEW is telling stories right now is Sting comes into the ring at the end of him, Punk and Darby, and we're in the room and everyone's like, oh, Sting's gonna turn or Darby's gonna turn, and I'm like, nope, they're gonna just have Sting show a sign of respect. They're gonna put Darby over, and that's it. It's just simple. Let's not complicate things. Let's make the people happy, because we're been so, and I'm not gonna make this an anti-WWE thing, but we've been, trained through WWE, WCW, and other promotions to, oh, the swerve. What's the swerve? And instead it's like, here's the story, here's the emotion, here's the heart, and you're like, oh, cool, that I like that. And we didn't really see like one thing, some stuff AEW has been knocked for in the past, like interference in matches, like Britt Baker, no interference, straightforward. Here's just people wanting to fight and win a title and win a match, and I'm just like, and everyone it just blew me away just how great it was. And I've been still thinking about this pay-per-view. I watched at your house. I bought the replay. Like, I spent $50 to buy it. Yeah, because, well, if 3 people wanted to watch it, they usually get it through me anyway. No, but it's like, but I'm like, no, I want to have this in my collection so I can watch that cage match probably 4 more times,
But if I can jump in, I think Bill,
Please.
I think Bill is right. Because the idea here,
I don't often hear that. Yes.
I'm just angling to come back on the show at some point. Not gonna lie, I'm just gonna butter you guys up.
It's happening. It's happening.
The idea that it's just simple, not complicated. Like you said, the Sting comes in and it's just like fist bumps, respect, and that's it. I know you said it yourself. We don't want to do compare and contrast, but right now, I think WWE provided us with the biggest example of why are you overthinking this when they did the Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair squash and the Becky heel turn, right? That's overthinking your product and what you're trying to deliver too much, trying to create something when all you needed to do and all the people wanted was Becky to come back, do something cool so that they could cheer some more. Not overly convoluted stories with, oh, well, you weren't seeing this coming. No, we didn't see it coming. Do you know why? Because we don't want it.
Because it doesn't make sense.
We didn't want it. Yeah, it's just that simple. Sting comes out. There's respect all around. I was talking with people who were telling me, you want to bet that Sting, CM Punk, and Darby Allin get into this alliance, maybe not an actual trio, but, when CM Punk comes out and he gets overwhelmed, you'll have Darby and Sting run out to they'll have his back kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff they do in AEW. And I'd be like,
wrestlers have friends. Wow.
Yeah. Exactly. Baby faces have friends on top of that.
Yeah.
So, it's like it all makes, but I think it's hard to not make comparisons in this type of situation. And I'm not usually really privy on them, but AEW is a company it understands that they're a live show and that they if the live crowd is into it and is excited and is hot, it's going to look like a hot product. So when you're at home on TV and you're seeing, 7, 10, 15,000 people going, wow, it's just bonkers, you're going to get infected with it and go, okay, what I'm watching is pretty cool. It is exactly like having a laugh track during a sitcom. If you hear the laugh track, you go, oh, joke, kind of thing, except here it's organic and natural.
Yeah,
I agree.
Very, very well said, man. That's why you're here, guys. And in the chat, everyone's saying last night was a really great night for pro wrestling as a whole. Yeah, I agree. Kristen in the chat saying, I guess feed Warren's ego. Of course, that's why he's here. Of course, that's what we do here.
She's keeping me in check.
There you go.
Hi, darling.
Oh, there it is. I love it. But guys, let's talk about this. I love the storytelling throughout what was, again, arguably just the best pay-per-view. We had so much fun. Little things like Britt doing the Panama Sunrise, like, popped so big for that. Like, and again, going back to NXT where Adam did her move.
Can I jump in real quick?
Because
I think we're on a good, because we got it, because there's a theme here. Because I saw so many people tweet out, oh, they just had to do the Panama Sunrise to get a reaction from the crowd. And I'm like, this is pro wrestling.
It's your job.
You're trying to get a reaction.
That's your job.
Yes. Go on. How is this a bad thing?
And yeah. Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say, because those kind of comments they blow my mind. It's like, oh, the AEW's making, it's always doing shit to make their fans happy. They're like, yes.
I was like, oh wait,
Yeah.
they
How
wanted
bad are the WWE brainworms at this point, where it's like you're expected to get aggravated at a product? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob.
No,
I think there's
don't
just
be.
some people that are never satisfied no matter what.
This is
But
true.
that's
some people just want to watch the world burn. Michael
That's
Caine. Michael Caine
amen.
told me that. I almost said Michael K, and that's a completely
No.
different.
is very different.
That's a very different person.
No. Thank you, Warren, for jumping in. That's the soundbite right there, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.